So these absolute statements, these beliefs that we really have, this self-talk that we give ourselves over and over and over, so it can't be trusted. We can't trust ourselves. Hey, thank you so much for being here. So today, I just want to jump right into it. I'm going to be doing things a little different today. I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to cover mental health, different topics, different skills, different tips and things that I've learned to kind of manage my depression, my anxiety. And when I say manage, I mean like constantly work at. I wouldn't say that it's managed, but I would say that I use certain tips and tricks that I've learned just from going to therapy, going to rehab, doing intensive outpatient therapy, things like that. And so I have a ton of resources available to me. I mean, binders full, packets full, folders just full of handouts and resources that I've gathered. I felt really selfish not sharing them with you all. This video is going to be one of many to come. I don't actually know how many I'm going to do, but just one of many to come. I want to do a little series on cognitive distortions. That's something that a lot of people don't know about. If you've never been to therapy, never had cognitive behavioral therapy specifically, it's something that you wouldn't know about, but it is something that everybody does. Everyone, to some degree, has cognitive distortions. A lot of psychologists, they teach cognitive behavioral therapy, okay? So this is just one technique, recognizing your thoughts, that they are distorted in a way. Your perceptions, the way that you view the world, the way that you see the world is not always the way things actually are. So a lot of times we make a lot of stuff up in our head and we take it as facts when really it's not factual at all. Some of us get into a habit of doing this more often than others, and that is when it becomes a problem, right? It's not serving you. It doesn't help you at all. But every single person, I guarantee you, has some type of cognitive distortion one way or another. But again, it's how often we think in these ways. We have these irrational thoughts. How often do we do that? How does that change our behavior and our actions going forward? So today's cognitive distortion that we're going to talk about is about fortune telling, the fortune telling habit. It's a habit of predicting, right? Predicting negative outcomes to different events, different situations. You just automatically assume that something bad is going to happen. Some examples of this. So, I can't go to school. You know, I won't ever be able to pass that class. I won't ever be able to graduate. So there's no point in even trying. That's a cognitive distortion. That is irrational thinking, and it's unhealthy. You're predicting a negative outcome. Why? Why do we do this? I do this. I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I do this all the time. I'll give a personal example. One thing that I fortune tell all the time has to do with my chronic pain. In my mind, I really believe that I'm always going to be in pain, okay? And it's not just completely out of left field. I have tried different therapies, I've tried different things, and so far nothing has really worked. So I'm basing my feeling, this cognitive distortion, on, my past history with the pain. But I can't just continue putting that negativity out there into the world and say, I'm never going to get better. I'm always going to be in pain. I'm never going to be able to work out again. That is not true. It really is just how I feel, but it's not based on any facts. You need facts, right? So I have to tell myself, today you're in pain, but you won't always have to be in pain. And I have to constantly do this inner battle, like the angel on one side and the devil on the other. I'm constantly battling with myself to try to change these negative thoughts that I have. When this happens, it's just important to remind myself of the fact that I am not really a fortune teller, okay? I'm not Miss Cleo. I cannot jump into the future and tell what's going to happen. And so stop stressing over it. Allow your brain an opportunity to just be in this moment. And that's why mindfulness practices are really, really, really good. Just knowing when to be mindful. With fortune telling, we really think that we're anticipating, we're problem solving, we're saving ourselves all this extra effort, all this extra energy, and we're saving ourselves from hurt, from disappointment, right? That's what we think. But in all actuality, we do not have fortune telling skills. I mean, you might be a secret fortune teller. I'm not a fortune teller. Majority of us are not true fortune tellers. And so we do this to save ourselves from hurt, from disappointment. And we think we're just problem solving. Well, I'm not going to do that. There's no point in doing that, because you will start to have avoidance type of behaviors. You just won't even attempt things. You won't try things because you're just automatically convinced that this is going to turn out poorly. So these absolute statements, these beliefs that we really have, this self-talk that we give ourselves over and over and over, so it can't be trusted. We can't trust ourselves. Don't trust these thoughts that are creeping up into your head, okay? So believing these thoughts, honestly, it's going to cause self-sabotaging behavior. Sabotaging yourself from trying different things, from stepping out there, going for the promotion, going for the guy or the girl that you're really interested in, trying to exercise because in your mind, you don't see it as a point. Oh, I'm never going to lose this weight, or I'm never going to be able to do that. That's not the case. So you're self-sabotaging yourself with these thoughts, with these ideals. And so it's really important to counteract them, okay, with more positive thoughts, to recognize it and to try to change the way that you're thinking. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm not a professional, guys, okay? I'm just here as a person who lives and breathes and works through depression and anxiety every single day. Think of the thoughts that you're having. Try to come up with more positive thoughts about it. Build self-awareness. You have to be aware of the thoughts that you're having. And yes, I'm looking down because I'm reading my paper. But be aware, examine, challenge your thoughts, okay? You need to review, reappraise, and then reframe the way that you're thinking in order to, push yourself to move forward. You really want to get out of this unhealthy way of thinking. And I say you, but I mean we, as in all of us, need to stop fortune telling, okay? If we were the best fortune tellers, we would be getting paid. And I don't get paid for fortune telling. All I do is stress myself out and, again, avoid different things that I should be trying, more willing to try, more willing to do. It's really, really advantageous and good for you to build awareness of these type of thoughts. Just become aware of them. Know when you're fortune telling. Know when you're trying to predict the future. That's all that cognitive behavioral therapy is about, really. It's about just changing the way that you view and think. And it can be make or break. Like, this can be life-changing type of advice, skills that can really help you in the long run. And so I just want you guys to challenge the way you think, knowing and truly believing that what you think about, you bring about, okay? So if you're constantly complaining, constantly afraid of different things, and constantly just thinking negatively, that's what you're going to bring. That's what you're going to attract into your life. So you kind of have to change your way of thinking, just a little bit, and it takes time, okay? Again, I've been seeing therapists for a really, really long time, and I'm still working on this stuff, and I forget it from time to time, which is why I said bringing this stuff to YouTube is going to be therapeutic for me too, because it's a way for me to get it back in my head, for me to see the material again and be like, oh yeah, I have been doing that lately. I need to change the way I'm thinking. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, this will be one of many. I have a lot of different cognitive distortions to go over, and hopefully you'll be able to identify with one of them, with multiples. I know when I first learned this material in rehab, I was like, wow, I do that. Oh, I do that. Oh man, God, I do that too. And I felt so defeated, because it was like, wow, everything that I've been thinking, just trained myself and conditioned myself to think, is wrong. And yes, I believe it's okay to say that your thinking is wrong. I mean, your thinking is your thinking and you can't help it. Or can you? You can change it. You can change the way that these thoughts come. You can change the way that you view and perceive situations. And so I was like, man, everything that I'm thinking is wrong. And it really, really felt like that. And so then now I'm aware. I'm aware of the thought. And when the thought crosses my mind, I'm able to better challenge it and say, okay, is that factual? Is there any evidence to support this way of thinking? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a great day, and I hope that you attack your day with greatness, because you are great and you need to go be your great self. And just don't be anything less. That's all you can ask, or all I can ask of you, is to just go be your great self.